Beep, 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 beep. All that new and approved from the Jesters News. Hello, good people. Good people owners. How are we? Just don't want to give up. No, I don't really. Right, here we go, look, see? Right, what we've got for you today? Universities. Let's talk about education, shall we? There are a number of resources that come with this. Okay, so before we start, usual stuff. Hit subscribe, share this damn thing if you would, and become a warrior teacher. Sign up to my Patreon, buy me a coffee, blah, 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 blah. You know the game. Help out, keep me going. It would be really, really helpful if you could. Let's talk about universities. There's a number of things that have happened that prompted this. The first one is Isla, who runs a great YouTube channel of her own. I'll put the links in the doobries. Description for those who don't know. If you click description under the video, see, right, it comes up in the right-hand side. You can read it. Okay, so that's if you're on a computer. Otherwise, it's just description. Read it. So Isla has got a video that she's done, which I'll put the links to downstairs, in which she mentions that the sex education books that she's seen have also got content that's critical race theory. No surprise to me, but it may be a surprise to some of you. I've said about this before, and it's something we're going to have to grapple with. Not just me, not just you as an individual, but the organisations who've been involved so far in fighting this absolutely monstrous critical social justice boondoggle. I also had a conversation with a friend who said that she was obviously concerned about this because as a woman who is Muslim, she's finding certain things difficult at work because of the enforcement of these edicts by these people. So overall, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about universities because Isla mentioned that in the sex education for schools, it's got critical race theory in it. And lo and behold, what do we get this morning in the headline, in the Telegraph? That, it's down there as well. And also an article in the Daily Mail from Frank Ferretti. We have universities told to teach about colonialism and white supremacy. Just fun. Right, let's get this absolutely straight. Critical race theory, right, which is part of critical social justice, when it was originally designed, had a good purpose. This is not that. Okay, this is not that. Okay, colonialism and white supremacy. This is an American idea an American template being led over the top of American universities. Now, this is coming from an organisation called the Quality Assurance Agency, or the QAA, who existed for a long time. They're a charity, right? And they're the ones that advise universities on what they should be teaching and how they should be teaching it. They need to be shut down, and the sooner the better. Okay, they're ideologically captured, and they are pushing a hard left ideology. They advise universities on course standards and introduced advice for the first time on decolonising courses from computers to classics. The QAA has told universities that computing courses should address how divisions and hierarchies of colonial value are replicated and reinforced within the subject. Make no bones about it, ladies and gentlemen, this is the power and oppression grievance merchants. Right, power and oppression grievance merchants. So what they want to do is they want to place a power and oppression template over everything, right the way from computing, right the way through STEM, the whole works. Over power and oppression narrative over everything. That power and oppression narrative is designed to cause grievances by identifying in-groups and out-groups. And once they've identified the in-groups and the out-groups, they have now joined up, like the NHS has, with an organisation that will record your complaint anonymously and make a list of the names of people who are reported. Get it? This is the full-on Stasi stuff. We're there. QAA also says that the maths curriculum should present a multicultural and decolonised view of mathematics, which is still predominantly a white, male and Western field. More power and oppression narratives. Classics and ancient history must engage with and explain the connections between the subject and imperialism, colonialism, white supremacy and class division. It's just cobblers. It's all designed to cause conflict between groups and to disrupt existing narratives and ways of knowing and teaching. This is their plan. It's designed to make people unhappy. It's designed to make people miserable. It's designed to turn students into activism. The guidance included 25 subject benchmarks. Anti-white, anti-Western racial hatred and division is iniquitous. It will undermine racial integration in our country and breed either resentment or self-loathing, said Chris McGovern of the Campaign for Real Education. The QAA describes itself as an independent body trusted by higher education providers and regulatory bodies to maintain and enhance quality and standards. It receives membership fees from more than 300 UK universities. I believe this goes against the public sector duty quality, and they're down the chain. Right, they're providing a public duty as far as I'm concerned. The government needs to step in and stop this. The universities who are paying them need to be defunded. It's not difficult. A spokesman for the QAA told the Daily Mail, subject benchmark statements do not mandate set approaches to teaching, learning or assessment. Well, they would, wouldn't they? It's up to the individual academics and their departments whether or how closely they follow this guidance. It won't be, will it? Because there's lots of threats going on. We know this. That's why a free speech bill is wending itself through Parliament. Because these people are vicious. Narcissistic compassion. Right? That's what it is. One may smile and still be a villain. Yeah. So that's them, right? All decisions about the quality of higher education courses are made by the Office for Students and not the QAA, says Susan Lapworth, the Chief Officer of the Office for Students, Chief Executive of the Office for Students. The Higher Education Watchdog, that's who she works for, the Office of Students. They set requirements. The OFS does not expect universities to follow QAA's benchmark statements, and we do not endorse or support the content of these documents. If that's the case, then badmouth these swine and get the university to defund them. They've been taken over by the same hard left nut jobs that are doing the gender stuff. This is the bit where we're going to get stuck, right? This is a larger project. It's all very well and good saying we're against this and against that, but this is the teats, right? It's the teats, and we've got to get our head around that. Because if they can't sneak gender identity ideology in anywhere else, they'll sneak it in under the guise of race, which is exactly what they started doing with the school curriculum that was exposed by Isla. Well, how are we going to pivot to this? Folks, answer me that question. And I need an answer from all the major players, right? So we've got Helen Joyce, we've got Kathleen Stock, we've got Sex Matters, we've got Safe Schools Alliance, how the hell are we going to pivot from this if we don't start to recognise that these people will creep this crap in somewhere else if they can't get it in through the front door? How do we pivot to make sure that we're as effective as we can be? I pivoted. It was most painful. I've still got the piles. Right, so. Should a university, here we go, regulated by the Office for Students, choose to use these documents, it must ensure that it continues to meet the OFSS requirement of course quality, freedom of speech and academic freedom. I'm going to ring the Office for Students and check with them what that means. Where we have concerns that these requirements are not being met, we can and will intervene. Right, let's hope you bloody well do. Meanwhile, Frank Furedi, who wrote one of the greatest books I ever read called Therapy Cultures. Hello, Frank. Giving you a mention today because I met both him and his wife at the Battle of Ideas last year. Two extraordinary people, real thinkers, real academic thinkers. Frank Furedi has written that UK universities have been dealt a catastrophic blow. I can't help but read this and hear Frank's voice. That's the funny thing. Britain has some of the greatest universities in the world. People come from all over the globe to study here. They do. Attracted by a broad offer of courses, excellent teaching and culture in which, at least until recently, freedom of speech was integral to a lively student life. What you've got to remember is that these people have said that the stuff that they're going to be decolonised, they've spoken to the students about. What are you speaking to the students for? Why are you speaking to them? They don't know cobblers about anything. Stop speaking to students as if they know what they're talking about. Teach them, right? Make them think. That's your job. There's this, and there's this. Go and explore all that and come back and tell me what you found. Not, here's how we will think. Decolonise. Like some, anti-racist Dalek. Really? Shouldn't be going on, should it? Students aren't customers. Right, this seems to be where we're going wrong. So to all you people out there who are in universities working, can you do me a favour? Just tap on the boss's door, the vice challenger of nonsense, whatever his name is, right? Whoever she or he may be. Just knock on the door, excuse me, just so you know, right? The students are the product, you tosser. Stop pretending like they're a customer. They're not. They're the product. That's why we as a society give you the luxury you get in the university sector, which you are, I would say, in extreme danger of losing. Wait till your money starts going. Wait till the jobs start going. That's when you'll behave. Deal with these people. So what he's saying is now, Frank, and it's really, really true here. It says, radical students have cancelled certain lectures. Well, I'm gone. Right? Radical students have cancelled certain lectures, but I'm a nobody. I'm not Kathleen, am I? Kathleen really went through it. This manufacturing offence has got to stop, Right, so as well as doing all this, right, the universities are now being advised to decolonise, as I've said. So what they're going to do now, instead of concentrating on STEM, they're going to ask people to incorporate as gospel racism, classism, ableism, homophobia and patriarchy into geography, for example, or how hierarchies of colonial value are reinforced in chemistry. Right? These people need to get in the bin. We're not using your template. Take your template and shove it up your behind. All right? Now, so it's totalitarian, right? You go to China, universities are totalitarian. That's not what we want. We don't want totalitarian. That's what they are. It gets better, right? Meanwhile, in the NHS, right, we've had a statement that's come out of some woman, right, okay, whose name shall remain off my lips, but you can see the links in the dubris, right? I'll read it to you. We are at our best when we stand together. I stand with the trans and non-binary, it's just, here we go. The fundamental promise of the NHS is that we exist for all and have a duty of care to all. Yeah, we do, but what we don't do is have a duty of care to pamper to people. Stop pampering people, right? I long for the days of the matron, do you recall, Hattie Jakes, or the doctor, where everybody behaved themselves when the matron was on the ward. Or the doctor goes in and says, yeah, right, there's something wrong with you. We're going to have you sorted. We know what it is. Yeah, now shut up and eat your gruel. We'll get you in the operating room. That happened to me when I was ill. Doctor's there going, now I want to talk to you about the elective surgery and post-op blah, blah, and veins and, arteries and cholesterol. And I just went, what would you tell your father to do? Because I got bored. And he said, I'd tell him to have the operation. Well, get on with it then. It would be like me going to him and saying, I've got something wrong. Something wrong. I don't feel well. I feel sick. And he said to me, yes, it's your inner ear. At which point I turn around and go, don't be so ridiculous. It's my left buttock. Who'd do that? These are the experts. There's all this capitulating niceness. It's not about inclusivity at all, right? It's about invasion and indoctrination. The fundamental promise of the NHS, we exist for all, but we do, and we have a duty to care for all. You care when they're unwell, not when they're LARPing, right? As a health care organisation, we want to reiterate our commitment to the spirit and the letter of the Equality Act by creating an NHS that is fair and truly inclusive. The Equality Act isn't about being fair and truly inclusive. Where did they get this idea from? The Equality Act is there so that if somebody treats us badly based on something that they shouldn't do it, right, that you've got recourse in the courts, which we all got that. It covers us all. But it's got nothing to do with it. Fair and truly, what does truly inclusive mean? Who are you going to exclude? Madam? Who? Right? Who are you going to people that want to throw gays off buildings? What about people that hate Jews? Are you going to exclude them? What about racists? Diversity and inclusion is of great importance to us. No, not yours. You mean diversity of mutual characteristics, and you mean inclusion in the political in-group. I'm not interested in your version of diversity and inclusion, and nor should anybody in the NHS be. It's not only morally that they need to do it, it's in a business sense, because inequalities in healthcare organisations are business sense. The NHS is not a business. Right? It's there to just make people well, or, get them out as quick as you can, as well as they can be. Stop wasting people's time with this. How many training courses are you going to stick nurses and doctors and cleaning staff and people that keep the damn thing running on until we manage to get you out like the bloody tick you are with your head stuck in the buttock of the NHS? Off you pop, I say. Here we go. LGBTQI plus charities. They have faced increased hostility. I wonder why. Could it be because they're hard left madmen? Could it be because they're trying to take women's spaces? Or could it be because they've eradicated the idea of gay? Or could it be because now if I don't include women in my dating pool, I'm a transphobe? Could it be that those LGBTQI charities need to face some opprobrium and shame for what they have done with the record of the rights fight of gay people and women? Could it be that, do you think? LGBTQI hands, knees and bumps a daisy? I don't bloody think so. You're an idiot, right? Oh, wait, here we go. Right. It just gets better. Right, what we got here? Many organisations in health and care have found Stonewall helpful as a way of developing a sense of belonging and inclusion for LGBTQI plus staff. What's the plus, miss? Hey? Miss? What's the plus? What's the Q for that matter? Come on. You're the head of NHS. Do one way thing or another. Right? Tell me what it is. What's the Q? What's the T? Right. Now more than ever, it's time to educate ourselves. It is time to educate ourselves and others. You will educate others as well to become active trans and non-binary allies. She's living in 2018, this woman, right? Within HEE, right? We have been making consistent efforts to understand and appreciate the experience of trans and non-binary colleagues. We are having conversations to develop an understanding. We stand with it, right? So now they're saying, so what we've got is universities that are, bowing down to the anti-racist cult and this critical social justice. Okay, that's what we got. Universities doing that, which means that those universities are no longer able to function according to Frank, which is Frank's right. They're no longer going to function. At the same time that somebody in the NHS is making sure that the NHS is so tied at the hip or pinned to it, nailed at the hip to this absolutely lunatic cult that it becomes a part of their everyday life. And you can add to that, for the final ignominy, they're all working with a website that controls anonymous reporting so that you can anonymously report people for microaggressions and micro-incivilities, and then they make a list of them and share it. I'll put the link to that at the bottom as well. Manufacturing grievance, causing division, inspiring hatred, reporting on dissidents, making a list of those dissidents. Where's this going, people? And I know because yesterday I was contacted by a group of Muslim women who work for a certain organisation who are scared and frightened that they cannot speak up because they had to have some training by an organisation that purports to represent gays and the alphabet soup people. And in that training, they were told stuff that they didn't agree with, but they were shut down and told that in any event, the Equality Act was wrong and it would be changed by government soon because gender would replace sex. I'm talking to them. I'm trying to get fuller details. And if I manage to, I'll share it with you. But wake up and smell the coffee. This isn't just about gender. This is bigger than that. And it won't matter. All the screaming in the world about gender will not matter if they manage to completely capture the universities to an extent where we have no way of stopping their grievance mongering and their division and their need to destroy the very world that you and I live in comes to fruition. You can go away thinking I'm mad. Go and read the articles under the comments. Just me. People are seeing this now. Anyway, I had a training session this morning with a group of people from a certain organisation, not warrior teachers, and they were great. They were fab. They were just amazing people. So it's always good to talk to other people, see some things come up. And when the stuff came up about bias, they went, oh God, we've heard enough about this. Love it. They do look it up. Anyway, go on, buzz off. To those that asked, it is Zippy. Our bungle, let's go and play in the garden. That's how I used to talk, wasn't it? Imagine the bloke in the, what was your job? Man in a bear suit. What was his CV look like? Anyway, I'm waffling. Join, subscribe, send me some money, join the Patreon, become a warrior teacher. More about that next week. All right, okay, so yeah, the new cohort is coming up. If you want to join, let me know. Thank you very much, people. I'll see you later.